Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this episode of Her Version. This podcast is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Michelle Wax. Michelle is a dating coach that helps you build confidence to attract the one and create a great relationship that lasts. Michelle has been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, Well and Good, and Fast Company, and is a four-time entrepreneur that ties in mindset, science, and psychology into her Be the One method to attract your partner with more ease and more joy. She has interviewed hundreds of people across 50 states on how they create more joy and fulfillment in their own lives. And it all comes back to one thing: relationships, the relationships with others, and most importantly, with yourself. Michelle will be sharing her journey through her own life and how she came to love the industry she is in. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, thank you. I so appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out and tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey that you've been on thus far in your life. How's your Thursday?
It's going really good. I'm here in Boston, so it's finally getting nice and warm, which is nice.
Yes, you're going into the nice stuff, and we're going into the hot, steamy jungle down here in Florida.
Right,
So
exactly.
every year you guys probably go, is winter coming? I hope it doesn't get too cold. And then every year we're like, is summer coming? I hope it doesn't get too hot.
Yeah, I can't leave the AC for sure.
Exactly, 100%. But I'm originally from the suburbs of Chicago, so I don't miss the cold very much. I enjoy it
Yes.
down here. So listen, Michelle, I would love to kind of just jump into a little bit of your backstory and how you ended up in the fun industry. I feel like this is fun
Mhm.
industry that you're in, and then kind of roll from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I really started my entrepreneur journey back in, oh man, probably about 8 years ago now. And so, growing up, I'd always wanted to have a business. I thought that would be in the food industry. And after college, I worked at a tech startup in Boston. And I had this moment in time where it was around 2014 when Ebola was a thing, right? Obviously, we've gone through a lot since then. But I had this moment where I was like, wow, what if I kind of have some freak incident happen to me and I die and I never actually tried to go after what I wanted? Because in my mind at the time, I was thinking, I'll wait till I'm 40, 45, 50 to start a business. And so I started really small on the side of my full-time job and was able to grow up that cookie company. Also opened a secondary company, which was a local incubator space for other food startups to start and grow. And I reached this point where, a couple years in, it was about 4 years in, I thought that's what I wanted to do with my life. I'd worked really hard and got after what I wanted. But every single day I was waking up and objectively looking into that environment, you would think I was doing well, I was happy, all these things. But I really wasn't feeling that internally. I was feeling
Wow.
the stress and the self-doubt and the worry and all these more negative emotions that didn't make sense to me because my whole life I'd, been taught that you work hard, you get what you want, and then you'll be happy.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really where I started to make a shift in my own life. And I got really this internal angst and frustration where I was like, what is going on here? So I started to dive into things like mindset, neuroscience, how to really start rewiring the mind to build more positive emotions. And that's really where the journey started into, as you mentioned in the beginning, interviewing all these people across the state. So I jumped in my Jeep and I filmed a documentary on how everyday people are creating more happiness and fulfillment in their own lives. obviously that was an amazing experience, right? I was traveling everywhere, talking with hundreds of people. And it really came back to the relationship that you have with yourself as much as it is relationships with others as well, right? And so I started to tap into the deeper end of doing that dating coaching, improving the relationship you have with yourself, the confidence, all these different things in order to attract in the right person into your life.
Nice. I love it. So, why did you decide to go into relationships, dating versus just how to have a relationship with yourself? What was the draw towards that?
Yeah. So, kind of running parallel to all the entrepreneur things I was doing, I had just always been fascinated with dating psychology myself. I'd gone through my own personal journey there with, going on so many dates and really not clicking with people. And still, I started improving that in myself. And I was always the person that my friends would come to for dating advice and tips and things like that. And I just really loved it. And I feel like, I listen to a lot of different podcasts and they say, pay attention to what people say you're good at, and also, of course, what you enjoy doing, what comes like naturally to you.
Yeah.
And so those two things matched up. And I had been doing a lot of corporate workshops that spawned from doing the documentary and along the lines of mental wellness, mindset, things like that. But I was really craving going deeper with people. And so that's really where the dating coaching began. And I kind of had this series of events happen where I took it as signs from the universe. I was like, this person should have never been able to find me, right? I had a very small following at the time and they did, and this happened and this happened. And so have been going on from there.
Wow.